Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate your time. So today I'm going to be really briefly talking about this whole thing with, Iggy Azalea coming out in her video, strip club or something like that. That's what it's called. I don't know. It's not important. But there has been imagery from the video leaked where she is very tan, looking like a light-skinned black woman with a jet black wig. And it's just more of the same with her. I just wanted to briefly talk about how I feel about it. I'm sorry, I have been very busy for the past 2 weeks. I have not uploaded any content because I've been extremely busy. I just came from Target. I got some bins to organize under my sink. And so, yeah, I just wanted to quickly come to you guys and just, give my feelings about this whole thing. So, like I said, with Iggy Azalea, it's more of the same. She's always doing this. She's always caught blackfishing and then doing things along this line, teetering the line between, looking like herself, at least I'm sure she thinks, as well as looking like a mixed, or should I say a light-skinned black woman, racially ambiguous. Like, that's the whole Instagram look right now anyway. So I just wanted to say this because I know this might not be like the popular opinion held by everybody, but I do want to just say how I feel about this topic. What I find very interesting about this whole thing, every time she does something like this, is that people will immediately clock her for blackfishing, bash her, come at her, all that stuff, right? But at the same time, I personally feel like she's not doing anything other than what a lot of your favorite Instagram influencers do. And first of all, let me say this. I am not anti-plastic surgery. I don't think that it is completely a negative thing or a bad thing. I think that within moderation, obviously, it can allow a person to be happier because they are going to be happier with how they look. And sometimes if you really don't like how you look, it affects your behavior. It affects your mental state of mind. So I completely understand it, and I don't see the problem with getting a little bit here, a little bit there to make you feel better about yourself. However, what I do think happens a lot of times, and particularly with Instagram models and influencers, is they're chasing this idea of perfection that's not attainable to begin with, right? You're having people trying to make their real life bodies match with the images that you see on Instagram. I'm big on people, being very responsible and thoughtful when it comes to curating what they expose themselves to on social media, because I feel like a lot of people don't have a healthy relationship with social media without even realizing it. They don't understand how their body image is affected by social media, and just everything that they think is just, oh, I'm just, on Instagram. It's not like that, So as long as you're interacting with social media and partaking in social media and, managing the content that you see and expose yourself to in a healthy way, social media is fine, right? It's fine. But when you start having people not being able to tell the difference between reality and, the way things should look in real life, and that it's okay, I feel like that's when we really start having issues. You have people chasing things that are not attainable unless you are an image being manipulated on an app, basically. So you have people taking, pictures of themselves using a Snapchat filter to their surgeon and saying, hey, I need you to do this for me. I need you to make me look like this. And that's not real. That's not attainable. I feel like Iggy Azalea is no different from a lot of these other influencers, like your favorite influencers that you see all the time that have done everything that they could to do to their body so far, like their BBLs, and they get tummy tucks, they have breast implants, they've done filler, and just they've done just about everything to themselves that they could. And then, which is odd, they then still go on, when they're taking their pictures, they still over edit their pictures. So what we have to understand is a lot of what we're seeing is very false. It's deceptive. It's not real. And if you are constantly feeding yourself these images and the pressure, especially if you're an influencer, right? And your job is to project what people want people to look like. Your job is to influence people to want to look certain ways. You have to be. You really can't go against the grain. And What I found really interesting, a couple weeks ago I was watching the Grapevine, and they had a show talking about the same type of topic. And one of the points a lot of the ladies kept making, which I completely agree with, is that a lot of these women are doing this for, their career. It's not just about vanity. For some women, they have to survive. Well, should I say, in order for them to survive, they have to curtail themselves to the new, beauty standards. Because not every one of us fits into that. And I'm not going to be ridiculous and say things like pretty privilege does not exist, and that you can just kind of put yourself in a vacuum outside of society's expectations of you, and you don't have to. No, that's not realistic. So that's what I said. Like, within moderation, this is absolutely healthy. But I think when people start getting to the point where they don't want to look like themselves meaning their race, their ethnographic features that are on them that distinguish their ethnicity, right? They don't want their body, they don't want to look nothing like themselves. I think that's when we start getting into problems. So to bring this back to Iggy Azalea, it's very clear she doesn't want to look anything like herself, right? It's very clear that she wanted to change her body, change her face, and change her skin tone so that she does not resemble what she was supposed to look like. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the set of features, or should I say the look that she's going for, is again this racially ambiguous kind of like amalgamation of ethnic but because when we really take a look at the Instagram aesthetic is made up of this: wide hips, large breasts, tiny waist. So body proportions that are associated with ethnic women, whether they're Black, Latina, those type of women. But a skin tone that's not dark like mine or darker than mine. So a skin tone that's lighter than mine, but not so light that it's pale. So like a tan, medium skin tone, right? Eurocentric, keen features. So, well, not entirely, no, because they want the big lips. They want, again, little drops of ethnic features here and there, but not all of it together. Oh no. So big lips, tiny nose, big eyes, but a different eye color, so not brown eyes. High cheekbones, and can't forget the hair. So loose curly hair, right? So hair that looks loose and curly when it's wet, and hair that can get bone straight when it needs to be bone straight. So that is the Instagram aesthetic. And I don't think Iggy Azalea is the only person chasing this. I just have to be honest. I know we want to come for Iggy because we can't stand her. She's always doing some mess, and then a lot of the controversy in the past, how she's just, the girl is a hot ass mess. I get that, and I'm not making excuses for her, and I'm not keeping for her. But I do want to point out that what she's doing is no different from what Ari has done, no different from what Jada has done, no different from what's some Instagram people, Miracle Watts, like all of these very influential Black women who have also seriously edited their faces and their bodies in real life to chase this aesthetic, like a dreamed out. Like all of these women don't look like themselves. So if we're gonna come for Iggy Azalea, we have to come for the concept in general. That's just how I personally feel. I think influencers are gonna do what they have to do to stay on top, to keep their views high, to keep their, profile. Because again, you can't fight against the machine if you want to get paid $25,000 to post a photo. You have to be a part of it. You have to be a part of the machine if that's what you're doing. Like I said, I understand that. And as long as you, or should I say we, the consumers, the people watching this, people liking it, scrolling down, well, not me because I don't follow these people, but as long as we have a healthy relationship with those influencers and we understand that, hey, we're probably not even looking at a real, perfect example, in my wife group on Facebook, this lady talked about how she doesn't like her stomach, and she hates the placement of her belly button because one of the influencers that she watches, her belly button is perfectly centered. And so she posts a picture of the influencer, and we're in the comments and I'm like, sis, that's not her real belly button. Sis had a tummy tuck. Her real belly button is somewhere in some hospital waste disposal situation. That's not even her real. So many times we don't even understand that we're not even looking at an original body part. Like, so many influencers have fake belly buttons because they've had tummy tucks. They've had multiple tummy tucks. Tummy and lipo 360, lipo 360 with the BBL, right? Fat transfer, right? So you have to keep a very realistic view of this. All I'm gonna say before I go is that I'm not telling you that you cannot look at these women and admire them if that's what you're into, if that's your aesthetic. I am not. I have long figured out a while ago that what I feed myself on Instagram absolutely affects my body image, and I don't need any more help ruining my body image because I'm a former commercial print model, and that damage is still here and present. So I don't need no more shit to destroy my body image. So I don't follow Instagram influencers. I follow, matter of fact, I follow women who look like me on purpose. I mean, I'm sure obviously not everyone that I follow looks like me, but for the most part, as I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm constantly seeing my likeness as far as my skin tone, how I choose to wear my hair, how I choose to wear my makeup, within my body weight. I surround myself with imagery that would be positive and affirming for myself, for my body image. And I think you should too. I think that more and more women, not to come for the bag of these influencers, but I think if more women cared more about what they're feeding themselves rather than consuming imagery that gives them something to aspire to, I think a lot of us would not be as surprised when we see a white woman in a video looking like a light-skinned black woman. I think we would all be like, hey, this is what they do anyway. And I think that's the most important thing here is these influencers, these celebrities are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to change their faces however many times they want to. They have the same insecurities and issues as we do. They just have the money to constantly do something about it. And unfortunately, what I think is very obvious with a lot of these celebrities is because they have had the money, plastic surgery has become an addiction for them. You just have to be careful with what you watch, what you feed yourself, what you consume every day, the types of images that you see every day, and the types of things that you are starting to internalize about yourself. Because if you don't, like, you're going to be just like an Iggy Azalea. You're going to be just like these people who want to change everything that they can about themselves because they don't want to look like themselves. You have to do the work within yourself to make sure that you understand that this is not real, it's not attainable, and you don't have to look this way. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's available. Yes, pretty privilege is a thing. Yes, conventional beauty standards are a thing, but you don't have to adhere to them. You just don't. And there has to be some type of development that happens where you begin to be okay with that. You're okay with the fact that you are not a part of these conventional beauty standards, that you don't match them, because in real life, there's tons of people who don't match them. In fact, the people who set them don't match them. And we're all fine exactly the way we are in real life anyway. Just be aware of the fact that a lot of these industries, these beauty industries, these makeup industries, especially the clothing industry now, because for example, when you go on Fashion Nova's website, you can't even see what the garments look like on a regular natural body, because it's very clear that all of the models have not only had things done to their bodies, but things done to their faces. So all of the models have this BBL, breast implant, tummy tuck body, and then they're putting on the garments. So you can't even visualize what they would look like on your natural body because they don't have any of those images available. So it's deep. Like, you have to understand that this stuff is a decision made by someone who is trying to sell a product. You cannot internalize it. And surround yourself with imagery that, like I said, affirms what you look like. I think that is absolutely necessary because that's why you have so many women who are not even influencers or people in the industry running and getting BBLs, because they are constantly seeing this imagery. So they're like, oh, I have to match Ari, I have to match Jada, I have to da-da-da-da. You don't. So yeah, that's all I had to really say. Again, I am not making excuses for Iggy Azalea. I'm just not so much shocked by this, because I see it in general. I see all the time people on Instagram not looking like their original selves by choice, and it's very clear that they don't want to look like themselves. And I don't think Iggy Azalea is the only person who does this. I think there's a lot of y'all favorites who don't want to look like themselves. And I think, truth be told, if we really started to clock all these people who look different, it would be a lot of people. So that's all I have to really say. Thank you so much for watching. If you're feeling what I'm saying, please comment below. If you're not feeling what I'm saying, you can also comment below. Don't forget to give my video a thumbs up and a share if you think someone else needs to hear what I'm saying. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.